Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of jam-packed action. It's the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland qualifiers for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I'm Lee Demon Smith, and joining me is Matrim today. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to get today underway, especially with the game that we were moving into. Game 2, well, actually, I guess we should say Server 2 is what we're moving into. And man, is Server 2 stacked. We've got Kingwin, Theater of Mayhem, Paradise Crew, Blank that's in here. There are just so many well-known names inside of this group. You could almost call this the group of death that everybody's going to have to be trying to fight their way out of.
Exactly. I mean, I guess we're at that stage, obviously, after passing yesterday. Everybody's a winner in these groups now, right? Everybody has either won or got a high place in because they've all had to get into the top 5 to just reach this moment today. Obviously today this is going to be best of 3 once again, so whether we stick with this group, whether we bounce between the others, we maybe try and cover as much as possible because there's still a lot of good team out there. And then following this is going to be the finals, and that is going to be a best of 5, and of course the top 4 will go to Oakland. It is going to be an epic day. Matrim, anything particularly you want to see today? I mean, obviously you watched a lot of yesterday. You were hanging around waiting for Rich to just disconnect and you'd be in there like a shot.
I'm just hoping we kind of avoid military base circles. I know that most of the players at this level tend to not like those, just because you end up with so much water that's inside of here. I just want some nice clean circles. Like specifically, I love Stalber circles. I love it whenever people have to post up and get up on like those high ground locations and fire out. But it looks like we have the airplane that is up and active, so we're going to get a good vibe on what's going on in this. And the airplane looks like it's going to be cutting directly from the western side straight through the middle of the map over to the eastern side, just a little bit north of the Bay area, which is going to be good. So we're going to immediately see a whole bunch of people hot jump out, go to Georgia Pool. I'm really excited to see the different pathings that we see specifically based off of airplanes like this, because this lets you know how the teams are prepared for it. Like most of these teams are going to be coming in with some form of drop strategy and a reposition strategy. So big things to watch now are going to be seeing who goes where, who picks up vehicles fast enough, and how fast do people mobilize into the new circle? Do they opt into an edge strategy, or do they go in straight towards the middle and just try to hold it as fast as they can?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because obviously we saw a lot of that yesterday. I'm thinking of, what was the last game of the day? It was a long day. It was a long day. Rogue was the team I was thinking of. They were going Yasnaya. They diverted, found a vehicle, went down to Milton Power, got fully loaded, and obviously went on and won that round. So it was a case of checking. I'm looking at Wacko now. Obviously Kingwin in here did very well yesterday. Now, their tactic, they were kind of separating and spreading. Now, from what I can see, Wacko is a long way from Larson, Leighton. Ibiza, they're going for a long drop. Where is he going? He's going to. Is he going to that complex on his own? It looks like it. Yeah, he is. So he's going for a complete. Is he spotted a vehicle?
He's going for Nova. I think looks like they're making a. This is a very interesting push that we're seeing. A lot of the squads can opt into one of 2 different strategies. Hot drop somewhere where there's just tons of loot, and everybody grab everything. But then other squads will separate out and go for that trash looting strategy, where everybody just tries to hit as many building complexes as they can, but you're soloed off. And there's a lot of risk inside of that, because if a 4-man group comes on you, like if you end up in circle, it could be extremely detrimental. And speaking of the circle, here we go. It looks like it's going to be based up around Saverni and shooting range, which means that we're going to have Zarky inside the circle, all of Georgia Pool, so all those guys that jumped out early there are going to be really happy. But we have squads like Kingwin, who haven't even touched the ground yet. They're doing that hard push for Novo. We still have 2 other squads that are up in the air, pushing down towards military base. They're going to have to land, get looted ASAP, find a vehicle, and just make it back up to the complete opposite side of Rangel.
Yeah, I'm looking. So obviously, let's go for the big names. Kingwin down at Novo. G2 have completely gone for this spread strategy. It's something they did yesterday, and it was actually something I saw Knights doing last night as well. They did a similar thing. And poor old Adrem was on his own in prison and got basically caught out. But look at them. You got Steve over in Shelter. Clayton, which is Fancy in Mansion. Velen is doing the I'm hitting every little hut going strategy, and actually he's going to run straight into Cute Boy, I believe, in a moment. And Waco in the other little separate area with the couple of 2-story buildings around there where Novo were ended up last night. So they're really spread out. Let's have a look. Theater of Mayhem, where are they at right now? Trying to find them.
I was just doing a quick look around. We're looking for Pony Rider, Cudtastic,
yeah,
Avenger, and Chris.
Pony would. Oh, they're in Yasnaya. Yasnaya. Oh, so they're actually really close by. Whoa, Velen's about to get busy. Someone's just pulled up at Velen's house. Let's have a look. He's going to get a peek around. He's already got an AKM, so he's just going to drop down behind them, I think. It should be easy. Cute boy, you are a dead man. First blood.
Going over towards Velen. Nice drop on that. Good situational awareness. Oh, heard the vehicle coming up. Repositioned quickly. Did a drop flank back behind him. So that was really solid play, all things considered. But rough news for Cute Boy. Specifically, having a down this early could be very detrimental. Naturally, that's a whole bunch of loot that's going to be gone that your team can't pick up anything for. You can see that that's going to force Crimson Miracle. He's going to force come back over the other way. Everybody that's in this trash looting strategy right now, you can see that Clayton, Velen, Wacko, and Tyrone are very separated out. But I actually haven't seen them secure any vehicles. So it's kind of nice for Velen because he just kind of had one dropped off at his doorstep.
Shots in Pachinki. Looks like there's the two squads there. Gaxi is the man taking the shots when the textures load up. There we go. You can see they did down one. There's a guy called D-Man. Oh wait, this is the D-Man. So this guy has been playing like FPS games, various obscure FPS games at a high level. And he's he's the Netherlands guy. So I obviously sharing the same name. We have connected a bunch of times, and it's good to see he's actually going through. So he has been in a bunch of FPS games throughout.
Well, they're going to be going up against Team Blank, which is NBS, LOL, Pybus, Velnus, and Gaxi, and they're very known inside the weekly scene. So you can see that they're doing a hard push onto the northern side of Pachinki, doing a good job of forcing everybody back out and around this. You can see Pybus, Nibzol, everybody's already rocking some type of AR for Blank. On the other side of this, naturally, everybody also has an AR, but they're being forced out the northern side. So even if they do manage to recover from this fight, D-Man, Pocky, Zatuka, and I guess that's Maria, they are going to have to force their way back into Pachinki, and that's really detrimental. They haven't had a lot of time to loot, so they're just kind of stuck in these northern buildings, while everybody else on Team Blank is going to still be able to loot just a little bit while holding these angles and forcing them into these back 2 or 3 buildings.
Yeah, I mean, what a great press they have. Look at the spread they have. Just map-wise, you can see they're in the corner, whereas Team Blank have this full spread down the road to Novo. They've got them basically collapsed in this corner, and they're just holding all the angles. They're like, okay, if they're gonna have to come out eventually. They've already downed one, so they know that they're here.
Well,
Zatuka's the man at the back.
Is that we're still at a minute before the circle comes down. Pachinki usually tends to be inside the first circle, but this time it is not. The circle is so far north that these squads are going to have to reposition out and move probably about another kilometer north, but well, about half a kilometer north before they can actually be inside the circle.
Pybas is pushing. Zatuka's prone. Pybas just getting tagged up, so Zatuka just lying there. Hasn't even got a helmet on. Has he got a vest? He does have a vest. Okay. Has he got a military vest on? No, he doesn't. It's just level 1. Okay. Just the low graphic. Pybas, but the problem is he's prone. While you do get, obviously, good accuracy, you want a static target. And obviously he's finally moving.
He's doing a hop down and a jump down. Going along this outside walls, trying to get a flank back onto Pybus, force him back off this position. But at the same time, Velnus and Gaxi are doing a long flank around the outside of it. So we have 2 different little mini squads that have broken into different pairs. And so off in the distance, you can see Velnus and Gaxi are getting into a fight with Pawaki and D-Man, while Pybus and NBS LOL are holding down Zatuka and Maria. So I think on the far side of this is where we're going to start to see a push out of Velnus. Looks like they're coming around to the flat top, and this is going to be probably where the fight's going to happen. Whoever wins this back fight is going to be the ones that actually gets control of the entirety of Pachinki.
They're regrouping. Velnus is in trouble. Look, you can see Zatuka and Mara is going to rejoin them. So that gives Pybas and MBS. They've already spotted it. They're making the push. They're going to try and catch him in the back. They have Porky on the roof. And there's Zatuka getting down. Okay, so that was expected. Obviously trying to take the high ground. D-Man's been knocked as well by Gaxi. So he was on the second tier. And now just the 2 standing. Velnus gets down by the back. Mara in there. Porky's got to be careful. He's going to drop down. That exposes him. And yeah, he's going to get straight away knocked.
And
so Mara, I think they're just going to smoke it out.
They're trying to see if they can get the res off. They really want to get over towards Velnus. D-Man is still in a different position, so haven't had a chance to get rezzed up. But here comes the fight. Gaxi's just holding such a strong angle over at this rock, but Maria is doing a hard push in. I think realized the fact that Gaxi has to go for the reload, so Maria is just going absolutely crazy. Gaxi's on a tip of life left and gets knocked down, but Maria gets knocked down as well.
Oh, the save.
This is so much knocks downs over and over off the side.
Oh, my word.
So right now it is a 2v1 coming up. Pybus taking a lot of damage, and Pocky still just holding the top of this flat top garage, forcing everybody back off of it, but I think NBS LOL is going to be able to get this res.
The save from MBS then. That was Gaxi dead. He was about to get executed by Mara, And he just knocked him the split second he was pulling the trigger. You can see that obviously Gaxi did take a little bit of health damage there, but Velna's back up. Now Porky trying desperately to get D-Man back up. And Porky
he does manage to get it.
Got him back. So, okay, so these three, they don't want to storm the building. They know that they're probably going to get impatient. Porky has gone for the roof. That is so risky.
And BSL keeps looking inside. He keeps glancing back over at the store. Well, looks like he might end up going for it. He plays this a little risky. This is where the danger comes in. They know they have to press in. Pocky is pushed up to the 3rd floor, and D-Man's kind of playing this side area. This is what's interesting about this building. We've got the shots that are going back and forth. D-Man's holding this strong angle, but has near on no life. Probably hasn't had a chance to get med, so he is now down. And there we go. We've got a full squad wipe. Pachinki now is belonging to blank.
Now the question is, has it delayed them too long? They're obviously going to get the loot from there, but they are outside the circle. The circle's not too far away for them, so they're in a pretty good position. They didn't lose a single man. Let's have a look at the rotations that are going on, because obviously we've been caught up in that action for a long time. Holy moly, look at the shooting range. Okay, G2 are at the shooting range. There's another squad coming behind them as well. Let's look further afield, because obviously there was a bunch of teams over in Sosnovka military base. Looks like Kinguin are making their way out on boat. There was a bridge camp set up. That's going to be unsuccessful because there's no one coming towards them. Another boat, Kozier, a name I recognize, over towards Primorsk. They're going to go the long... Are they really going to take the boat all the way around? I think they are. I think they're going to go all the way up the coast into Georgie. There is Articus. He's a long way back in Primorsk still. So the Articus guys are going to make their way up the left side. Let's have a look over towards Yasnaya. That is where, Mayhem, a Theatre Mayhem are. They've still not secured a vehicle. I'm guessing since I can see a grouping around the garage. There's probably one here. Yeah, it's the Dacia.
The real interesting play is how Kinguin is making their push around on this. You can see that they're off on the far distant side on a boat, of all things. Coming back and around, so you can see Leighton, Larson, Abisa, Fuzzface are all doing the slow push on this boat. It is the first circle, so it's not going to be a whole bunch of damage, and they went to Novo, but it is going to take a long time to take a boat all the way up and around the circle.
Oh, look at the north.
Oh, wow.
Saverny, there's a squad going into G2. Well, they've just took shots from Saverny. Wick has. Now, I think Wick, I believe this is the team. Yeah, they lost their man to Velant early on. So it's the same team that lost their man to Velant. Now they're coming straight in. They're going head in. This is very similar to what we saw Envious doing yesterday. Obviously, they took... I think it's the same complex. No, yeah, it is. It's a similar complex.
It's just a very strong complex over here. Yeah, it can get a level of control. I think this one might be a little bit further east. It's hard to say because there's one that has the Wizard Tower. But that back cliff is going to be a big influential point inside of this round, specifically with how much water is still inside the circle. A lot of these guys are going to opt into playing right along that cliff edge, try to get as far north as they can so that way nobody can come up back behind you. The only problem with it is there's a lot of fighting happening.
Yeah, look at south of Saverny. Look at the amount of vehicles heading across Saverny Way right now. That's a pretty open field as well. There is a squad already set up. Crimson in there. Let's have a look. See where they're going to take any shots. I'm just going to keep it on the map view for now because I want to obviously keep an eye on exactly all the rotations that are going on. One of the teams are moving through in towards Atlantis or Watertown or whatever you prefer to call it. NBS and Co. moving out of Pachinki, so that's them guys. That is Team Blank, and yes, it is predictably. I'm just going to keep it on the map view because, well, you can see there's, 8 vehicles passing on by, so it's a case of pick one you shoot at.
This is where calling out specific targets is very, very useful because you have to hit enough damage to actually secure the downs and the kills on this. But I really like this positioning. Holding these buildings just a little bit south of Saverny, you know that there's going to be a lot of movement coming in. We've got this mass migration phase that happens in Circle 1 where you just have all of these vehicles just trucking, trying to find somewhere. But here's the thing. These whenever you move north of Rajok in this area, there's just not a lot of buildings. So with 74 people still up and active, it's going to be a hunt to try to figure out where you can go. Georgia Pool is still going to be open, but a lot of teams are going to opt away from that.
There we go, Morse Kenny. That's one of the vehicles gone down. Blown up. It was Fu Manchu squad that actually won yesterday in the AAA and G2 game. Actually, they won that game. It was that one that ended on the mountain, I believe.
Looks like a lot of the teams have managed to finally pass through the hail of bullets and find somewhere for them to go. Still have a couple of them playing on the outer edge. You can see that there's some people coming up next to Milta. We still have a couple of people over next to Lippo. Got our boats coming in very, very slowly off to the sides. Looks like, actually, Kinguin did manage to make landfall at Lippo, found themselves some vehicles. They're not going to opt in going all the way around. I think that's a stronger strategy, so that way you don't burn through as many meds. But so many of these teams are going to be coming in so late, they might be forced into playing an edge strategy. And with this river kind of going through the bottom half of the circle, that's going to make it really, really tough. Because trying to push across that water is always problematic. You can squads have opted into trying to hold next to where some of these choke points and bridges are.
Well, there's another guy coming in. Tex, see their teammate is, I think. He's finally secured a vehicle. So where they managed to pull that one from, I don't know. But Crimson have got themselves a UAZ. Just about everyone has a vehicle secured. I'm still hearing shots. Okay, that's Nero getting a shot from Severny. There's also shots trading between Wacko. Wacko's taking shots. So G2 taking pot shots long range into the second complex.
We've got a whole bunch of little mini skirmishes that are happening all around the map. You can see
down
next to the squares, trying to take out some different points. There's just so many little bitty fights that are happening right now. And we still have probably about 6 or 7 squads that are still having to get inside of here. And Larson gets knocked out from falling outside of the circle, nowhere near a teammate. So they're going to have to go try to pick him up. That's going to be kind of detrimental to try to get this up and active really quickly. And I think that everybody looks like they're trying to opt into as close of a center strategy. But everybody is just passing right by Texas and Crimson Miracle. It's just more and more damage coming out. So many meds and damage going on to armor and helmets.
I wonder if Larson was driving that 3-man trike. Yes, he was, which tells me he rolled it. So Beats going to get him back up. Just goes to show that even Kingwin make those same errors in the vehicles.
That vehicle just hurts my soul. You know, you can get all geared up. You're just running through the circle. Next thing you know, you hit this random rock in the middle of the road. Go flipping everywhere. But they did manage to get him back up. They still have yet to make it inside the circle. It's going to be very interesting to see how many meds they have left. And they're opting into going up near Stalber before pushing back down around. I think that they're trying to come up to the north and push in. But the north is so populated right now.
Yeah, a real late push from them. So let's see. Of course, the next circle is now in. It is very much similar area. Pretty much everybody inside it. Only a couple of guys in Georgie and Rozok that are just going to shuffle on in and basically try and find a complex. But as you can see, everything is pretty occupied right now. There is even a team over in Zaki. Something you don't see too often in pro-level games.
Well, we also have a squad that's holding down the airplane, which is a very interesting point to hold in here because it is fairly centralized inside of the circle. And it has a lot of interesting play points, specifically the divots from whenever the airplane crashes in, makes this huge tear in the ground. So you have this trench that you can play along, or you can just choose to play into the actual airplane itself, or it even has one of the little shacks off to the side that you can play in. So we could see this be a highly contested point, specifically because you can bring vehicles in and hide them in these divots very nicely. As you can see off in the distance, there's a Dacia, and I believe a motorcycle hanging out back over there. It's a good way to protect your vehicles for late game.
Yeah, they've managed to keep it clear. Okay, anything at this crate? There's a crate drop that's been ignored, so we'll just see what loot's being left. It's an M24. M24 that's being ignored out there. Looks like Kingwin coming in now. The second circle. Ibiza's going to go down. Is he going to make it in the circle?
He's just going to barely make it, but they're going to have to push in through the circle. And he's going to have to run right next to 2 different squads. So anybody that even looks at him is going to just be able to knock him down.
All planned, I think you'd like to say, but that was close. That was close. One more tick and he'd have gone down, I think. But they are going to... Are they going to go straight to Severny? No, they're going to... Okay, they're going to blast it into the side. They're going to regroup. They're going to heal up, so that should be fine. As they find themselves a little outcrop of trees, set up the vehicles, and they should be healed up. Now, these guys, they've been looting for a long time, so they should be pretty well geared. Let's have a quick pan around. Looks like, yeah, tier 3 vest I can see for Larson, tier 2 helmet. Did he just get hit? Yeah, oh, God.
He hit himself with the vehicle. It happens.
Jumped out too fast.
Rolling damage.
Wait, let's see. Will he get... Would he have higher health? I don't know. No, it's the same health. I was going to say, I was wondering whether he'd have higher health than he had. Actually, he did, just slightly, but obviously it helps.
Calculated.
It worsens the bleed if he was to get knocked later down the line. Ooh, shots as well.
We have several shots that are coming their way. Off on the other side of the map, you can see that Pants Vix are trying to push in. They came over here next to Theater Mayhem, gotten pushed out. And here we go. We've got our next circle.
Ibiza's just like, you just removed the Dacia. That was my cover while he was healing. I had to get straight back up. Thanks, Leighton.
But we have the next circle that has shown itself, and it is centered directly onto G2. So they're going to have a nice set of control, and here we go. Everybody is already hopping into vehicles, trying to find somewhere that they're going to go. There is a little bit of the shooting range to play, but there's a lot of odd and weird angles on this. We still have a lot of that back area that's up and open, but the guys in Severny are just trying to knock down Kingwin. throwing out as many bullets as they can, but I think Kinguin should be pretty safe playing along that beach line.
Just take a look at the map. It's just like a mass migration right now. And this is going to fall, like you say, into G2's hands. They have the best complex in the place right now. Just to the left of them is obviously the other complex. Pac-Man has been knocked. Looking over to the south, Godfred and Co have been knocked as well. Looks like G2 got MBS coming right at them. They're going to go for the coastline. And this is actually a decent ridgeline as well that they've occupied. So they've took themselves some pretty prime territory. MBS has just ditched it. So that's Team Blank. And he's had to ditch it in the water as Kinguin have him pinned down. Looking back towards the map as everyone migrates to the northern exploits. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, there's another squad coming straight into G2. Let me span over there as we see them passing by.
We're going to see a lot of people opt into this water, I'm willing to bet. With as many bullets that are coming out right now, you can see that multiple squads are trying to make it up along this northern coastline. Just because of the fact that it's got that full cliff ridge, a lot of interesting places to play. But with as many people trying to make it up into there, we still have several squads that haven't even made it inside the circle yet. They're going to have to either choose to stay towards the south, which most teams won't want to do, or they're just going to have to push all the way in. And we do have a down onto Kinguin. Some nice shots coming out from Roscoe. Good, solid, probably about 300-meter shots coming out, really forcing Kinguin to try to retreat back. This is multiple knocks that have happened onto Kinguin. That means that they're just going to go down and bleed out faster, and so many meds being used, and so much damage to their armor at this point.
Oh, it's the other squad down the ridgeline. So they're getting shot from the coast. I think they realize now that, yeah, they managed to get themselves tucked in. But actually, that squad, as we pan over there, has another one coming at them. Yeah, that's a long shot, that one. There's a squad in between them. So Roscoe taking some serious work with that SKS.
Pac-Man's doing a good job of holding the side angle. I really like how they're playing brave with this and making sure to get out a lot of damage. We do see that the reses come up from the squad that was right in between Kinguin. So there, we've got Skur is back up and Shea for 20. It's going to be an interesting little skirmish happening back and forth along this cliffside as everybody's going to be trying to find different angles. And it looks like Larson might be trying to retreat down, come along the side of this, and catch anybody that might be going for water strats.
Yeah, Shuffler diving in the water. Another team plummeting in there. Godfred is down. Chris, that was the other side of the circle that I'm not looking at the moment. I'm looking at NBS because NBS has actually crept up. He's creeping up on Kinguin.
He managed to make landfall, and that's going to be the big factor on it. With as many teammates as he has back in the water, he's going to have to get some type of cover for them as they come up and out. But on the far eastern side of the circle, we have a big fight that's happening as it looks like Texas and his team managed to get some level of control, and they have multiple knockdowns.
Oh,
you can see that right now. Pooter's trying to fight them off. Does get the down onto Texas, but Laura manages to secure it really quickly.
That's the aircraft crew, isn't it? It's the downed aircraft. Arctic is right next to them. Just coming up over the brow of the hill. Drusilla there. Off to the side. There's another squad coming out in behind them. This is Grim Fandango and his team. They're going to come straight into them. I don't think they realize, because they're obviously looking at the team behind them. And they're about to come straight in the ridge, if I can get through the tree line with the camera. There we go. They have a perfect little ridge line, and then it's going to be a clear angle as we see them pushing in.
We have about 16 people all stacked up in about a 100-meter location. Everybody's pushing in on this airplane, so it's going to be interesting to see who gets line of sight on who first. Crassus is making it all the way up to the airplane and not really being contested to this point, and gets nice line of sight onto Avistus, gets the down onto him. Now Tecto is trying to return a little bit of fire. He's taking a lot of damage as well. This airplane fight is going very bad for the defenders.
Oh, and that nade's going to end those two in that. There's no way out. I mean, that's just a nade that's going to land straight. Oh, no! It must have hit the side and bounced out. Now, Kalaska's at the side. He's going to push around while they're nading, but his teammates will help him out. That is the squad wiped out at the downed aircraft.
Now, naturally, this squad that's just on the other side of this hill had to hear this.
Oh,
you can see that Unmeasured is holding a nice angle onto them, really making sure that Articus can't make their way up. So you can see Sosic, Rory, got Cageman, and G-Thing that are looking like they're going to try to push this direction. I think that they might opt away from it and take a longer path around. It's just a little too risky for this early. 58 people up and alive. Everybody's going to be playing for those points.
Kinguin getting
We've
pushed.
Had full squads have go down already. And yes, they are.
Team Blank completely pushed up. You can see Velnus, Gaxi, and MBS. It looks like they've lost one. Kinguin have lost one as well. Fuzzface is down as well. So just two men standing at the moment as they try and push down around the side. Ibiza holding. Larsen's going to make the push. He's going to try and get Fuzzface up. But that is risky play. He realizes it. Ibiza's getting pushed by MBS. And now he's going to drop down. Let's have a look at MBS's angle. Gaxi's down Larsen. Ibiza, the last man standing for his team. He's going to have to come around the corner. There's two of them there. He downs Gaxi. But he's the last man standing. It's got to be so risky because there's so many squads alive still at the moment. This is real danger for Kinguin.
This is so smart. He knows that they have to be going for the res. Is he going to go for a push? No, he opts away from it. This is a continuation play that we saw from earlier. When NBS Lowell managed to make landfall, remember all the rest of his squad was inside the water. He managed to provide enough cover for them to come up, sneak up right on top of Kinguin. And this is one of the favorites right now, being reduced down to just one person in water strats.
Well, MBS is pushing down. Fuzzface is out. He's finished off. It was Roscoe that downed him. So that squad behind, Roscoe with the SKS, has been doing work. Ibita's gone in there. Fuzzface also finished off. So while it was Team Blank pushing them, it wasn't them doing the damage. It was actually Roscoe from, like you say, about 300 meters back down this way, all the way along the coastline. And now actually Team Blank may be in the same problem with Roscoe.
We're seeing a lot of little mini skirmishes that are happening now. As we're seeing, it looks like Texas is making a push over towards Wick and Exotics, as well as Niru. They're right on top of each other, but right behind them you can see Fu Manchu. Everybody's just trying to run into the circle, and it's a fight that's happening right onto the edge. So you can see a lot of damage coming out now. Acor is just near on no life. Multiple downs happening on the backside of this. You can see Red Laser Beams getting knocked down. Fudat's gotten knocked down. Fu Manchu is down. That's just a solid team wipe coming out. Texas and squad have been doing very well. And right
G2.
now they are at 8 kills, all things considered.
G2 getting pushed by Atticus. Atticus in the building. Fantasy is down. Velen's going to get Sosic down. Looks like Rora's the last man in there, but that's G2's complex completely pushed. Wacko around the back of them. He should be able to find Rory. Rory with the micro Uzi. I'm going to switch over to him. He's in the bathroom. It's the classic bathroom camp. Wacko's managed to down one as well.
Only a goodie.
Going to push in, and he will get down. So there we go. That is the squad wiped. It was Steve that finished him off in the end there. They are the only...
how many full squad wipes that we've seen coming into this so far. We have another skirmish that's happening just to the east of this. Again, Texas and this team, they're playing very, very violent. They want to make a statement with this first round.
Yeah, this is just chaos right now. Crassus tries to push up. Down one. Avenku is going to down him as well. So Crassus down. Where's the rest of his team? Unmeasured's down as well. Denzine is the man they need, but he's a long way off. And honestly, he should be pushing right now. He knows he's pushed the other guy. I guess it's a one-on-one effectively between the two, but he's just instead sitting waiting. And that's going to buy time for him to get his teammate up. Let's have a look around. G2, the only one with the complex still remaining. They have all 4 members alive. And you can still see that's Texas going down the coastline. Everybody's now got to make this move off the coastline, right? Ibiza has actually popped back up. So Kinguin, not out of this. He was in the water, remember, but now he knows he's got to get out. The question is, can he get on the ridgeline? Can he get up the cliff?
Well, a big part of this is just how this map is laid out for this last circle. With all these roads, there's a lot of flatlands. It's a lot of plains. So the only thing to notice is there is this little bit of a hill that happens as you look north from where G2 is positioned at. So that's going to allow all of these guys along the cliff to kind of skirmish among themselves. But they're going to have to push forward about 50 meters or so. But the big thing on it is everybody's going to have to push into some level of firing arc
comes the
that
blue.
G2 can see.
Here it comes. Look at Team Blank just off the side. Ibita's going to have to run in. He's solo. Team Blank right on the edge of the blue now. They're going to push in. There is another full squad. Roscoe, remember, Ibiza now. He's going to take shots off the side there. Pac-Man's pushed in. They've downed them. So Pac-Man's got a double kill over there. That was the other squad that was actually next to Ibiza. So Kinguin getting a little look there. MBS just take a big tag. Velna's got downed as well as they tried to push through. Gaxi really the only man standing. Ibiza gets wiped out, so that is Kinguin down. MBS gets down. Gaxi has to hide behind the tree. I tell you what, Roscoe's crew over here is doing work, but it's Waco. Waco that gets the 2 kills there on MBS and Gaxi. I've got to be honest, G2, they have prime position. They've been in this complex the entire time, and they are just getting kill after kill after kill.
The problem with it is nobody's really in this next circle, except for Larynx. He looks like he managed to make his way in, but instantly gets shot down. It's just a wide open field. It's got like a tree in it, and that's about it. So everybody's going to have to be pushing into this. They have a minute to secure what kills they can. 14 are still up and active, but it's all going to be about how people position around G2 and how G2 moves out of this. Specifically, we can see that Wacko is going back. Wacko and Velen, they're going to have to do a hard push across the street line, and off on the side of it, Lure and T-Bone have a nice angle to come in and approach. The closest squads to it are actually the ones that are over here up towards the north. It's going to be Roscoe and his team. They're in kissing distance of this circle. They just kind of have to move forward just a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if Roscoe and his team can get a nice line of sight onto everybody that's going to have to be running into the circle, because I think right now they probably have the most favorable position.
Well, as it stands, I'm just looking towards this squad over the right. Godfred, his guys, they've been slowly doing work. So have a look at the kill count across, actually. Obviously, G2 have the most because they've been stacking up. Law's got 7 kills on his own, and obviously only him and T-Bone remain in his squad. Just the 1 kill so far for Godfred, and they're moving in. They're moving actually towards Roscoe's guys. That's dangerous for them. I don't think they're looking to the left. That doesn't look like they're peeking too much. Pac-Man and Roscoe should be able to take Jojo, having to make the move. They're going to use the vehicle. Roscoe's pinned behind the tree. He's going to get the peek. Godfred down. And it's just Borgan. Borgan, the last man standing for his squad. They're both in the blue, so they're done. He's going to run for the rock. He's going to try and just follow the blue in as much as he can.
And I really like the way that we're seeing Roscoe's team play this. They're playing in this little bit of a hill divot that they have that they can work with. Circle is actually over around near them, well, a little ways away from them. They're going to have to push back down the side of this hill.
Ooh.
But we are now down to our last 10, D-man. So this is where it's going to come down. A 4-man squad versus a 4-man squad, and I was going to say a 2-man squad, but Lord just...
Look at G2. Look at that beautiful setup they've just done with the 4 vehicles. I was just about to say they've got really no cover over there, but they've pushed out. They've taken down Crimson T-Bone and Law over there. So that is that squad. So now it's just a straight 4-on-4. 2 squads battle it out. And honestly, looking at the next circle, they're going to have to move over to the left. So are they going to take all these vehicles? But there is no cover. Tiny little ditch. And obviously, Roscoe's team, they have the ridge line.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how we play this. If G2 can actually reposition these vehicles and get away with this, they're going to be in a great position. They've got it down, and they managed to get their vehicles into a defendable location. This is going to be absolutely insane. A lot of pressure now coming on.
Pac-Man not healing up, so that tells me he's got no more medkits left, no more health packs. Jojo, he's down. Roscoe will get him up, but they have now the perfect setup, don't they? Look at this. G2 have the vehicles in place. They have the tree line. They have just about everything. They are in the circle. They have dominated it. The smoke grenade working perfectly for them. It's going to have to be a straight-up run over the brow of the hill for Pac-Man's team.
And it looks like they're using Matt to draw attention away using this UAZ. He does get blown up, but they do manage to get it down onto Tyrone out of that push. Pac-Man's gone down. Nice solid grenade coming out. Bell is really low on life. That vehicle protection is actually paying off for them. You can see Wacko's doing a push over, gets knocked down on this. This is turning into a 2v1 essentially right now. Roscoe's just at the top against Clayton and Velen.
Is he going to be able to do it? He's using the UMP. He's got SKS. He gets shots on Clayton. He downs Clayton. Velen versus Roscoe. Oh, just in the blue puts him in. And Velen finishes it off just as he started. First blood and last as he gets 9 kills overall. 6 for Clayton, 4 for Wacko, and 2 for Steve. Wow. Massive, massive kill count for those guys.
21 kills coming out of that squad. That is insane.
I mean, that's positioning really right. I mean, these guys, they did the separate drop. We talked about it. Obviously, they spread for the loot. They all went in different buildings. Velen got himself the first kill of the game. And obviously the last one, but 9 kills in total for him. They just got that positioning. Very similar to Envious yesterday. Different complex, but very much the same position. As soon as we saw the circle, we kind of knew what was coming. And they just got in there first. And then every time someone came by, they would knock them. I believe it was the... who was it that tried to charge him? Articus. They actually ended up finishing 15th. Now, that battle could have gone very different, and that was the same complex they challenged. And it actually went down to, I think it was a 2-on-1 in the end of the day. So, a very close fight for them. But unfortunately, it means they get 15th, and the team they were fighting gets first.
Well, this time around, it's a great showing on why so many of these squads that play on the high tier lean into centering. Just the ability to not have to move much. You know, you end up with a mathematical advantage that if you end up in the center of the circle, you probably don't have to move, and if you do have to move, you don't have to move very far, and that just allows you to get kill after kill on people trying to move in around you. And so that's going to be a reoccurring theme as we go through the rest of this day, seeing these squads and how they play around the center of the circles. And I have to say, G2 put on a great show of just saying, this is how you do it, this is how you choose buildings, and this is how you just make sure you frag out and just net kill after kill.
So fantastic stuff. Let's have a look where some of the big names. Kinguin, 9th place. Obviously, they took the ridgeline, but unfortunately for them, they were surrounded. That ridgeline was busy, so they couldn't hold out. And it was actually obviously the guys that finished second. It was Roscoe that did a lot of damage. Roscoe only ended up with the 1 kill, despite the fact he downed, I think, 3 members of Kinguin. I kept seeing him landing SKS shot after SKS shot. Pac-Man with the triple in there as well. So in the end, Crimson, they do get themselves the 2nd place. Let's have a look. Who else should we look for in here? Team Blank, where did they finish? Because they had a good position, but actually I think they finished behind in the end, behind Ibiza. No, they didn't. They got 7th place. Okay, 7th place. Man, this group is brutal.
This group is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be hard to pick what's going to be the top 5 inside of here, because we've seen a lot of really solid plays coming out. I think it's just going to come down to each and individual round and how it plays out. Like Kinguin coming down in 9th place, they're going to have their work cut out in front of them. Specifically, we were talking about Blank beforehand. We can see that Cudtastic, Pony Rider, Chris, Avenger. There's so many good players inside of here. It's going to be a really a big toss-up every single round to see who can net the #1 spot.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, you got to look at G2. That's pretty much secured them a final place, and the fact that they got 21 kills and 1st place, that gives them a massive net in points. So as long as they finish top 10 for the next 2 games, they're pretty set. But it's obviously the teams that are on the edge of it, which is, you know, your Kinguins, etc. You got to accept them to have some big plays in there, but it's a nervy first game for them. Right, we're going to be moving on. So next round coming up, I guess we'll find whether it's going to be group 1, 2, 3, or 4. We can take our own pick, I think, Mad Trim. So we'll go to the break, and when we come back, we'll be ready for the next group. Don't go near, guys.